what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Footcandle Films. Film news and reviews from two guys who really like movies.
This episode is brought to you by the Footcandle Film Society. For a schedule of upcoming screenings and membership information, visit the Society's website at www.footcandle.org.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Footcandle Films here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. My name is Alan Jackson. With me is Chris Fry, and we are with the Footcandle Film Society, the annual Footcandle Film Festival, and this podcast, Footcandle Films. Chris, how's it going? How was your weekend? I know how part of your weekend was because I saw you.
Yes.
But otherwise, the rest of the weekend was good?
Yes. Weekend was good, with the exception of the time that I saw you. Not that that made it bad, but I dropped a 25-pound weight on my foot.
You did.
And
I was there to witness that. And
so we were doing an outdoor screening. We showed A League of Their Own. People really liked it. But setting up for that, that happened, and that
How
was
is your
not
foot
fun.
Now? Are you?
Foot is okay. No bones were broken, so
good.
that's the good news. So
Just sore, I'm sure.
sore and a nice color of purple. Very
purple.
Interesting color of purple. Yes.
All right. So got a little decorative here after the weekend, so good. And A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
You were not a terribly big fan.
Here's the thing. I think seeing it now, so, far away, it was 1992, no, 92, 93, somewhere, I can't remember, but in the 90s. Now, it just seems very, cliched, and granted, I've heard, there's no crying in baseball, and that, comes from this movie, so now I can say I've officially seen it. But, yeah, I mean, it's okay, but some of the more, cliched things about it really kind of irked me. But it's
I don't think
it's
it held
fine.
up as well.
Okay.
Filming. I love the story.
Yeah,
but
story's
not
interesting.
crazy about the filmmaking
Sure.
involved. So
It was kind of cool to see people a lot like Tom Hanks, very young looking Tom Hanks. Actually, David Strahan. It's the small, I saw just maybe one hair of gray, where normally he's got the little grayed side stripes on his hair. And I was like, oh, that's him. But it's definitely, I think, the youngest I've ever seen him, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. So. It was a good little throwback film, but I don't think it held up as well.
And it was
over time.
And, often on this podcast, we sometimes lament movies being longer. It's like, oh, they could have consolidated. This movie, for coming out when it did, it was long. And I thought that was
Just
something
over
that
2
had
hours.
only happened relatively recently, where everything has to be 2 hours or longer. And I felt like that it could have been kind of condensed down, and that might have helped it move a little quicker, but whatever.
Oh, well, that was a nice little side. I, just wanted to know how your weekend was, and we ended up with a little mini review and everything else involved. But let's shift gears and get into our actual show plan today, where we have a actual film we're going to be reviewing, and it is the latest film from director Olivia Wilde, starring Olivia Wilde, Seth Rogen, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton. The film is The Invite, and we're going to be discussing that film in just a few minutes. After we discuss that film and give our review, we're going to play a few trailers of some upcoming films that have been announced that we're kind of curious about. I will say, definitely of the three I've got lined up for us to watch, Chris, I am very curious. Well, yeah, I know what to expect in one of them. The other two, very, very curious. And,
and how many of them have you seen? You've only seen one?
I've seen one of them.
Just seen one.
I've seen the one that I know what it's going for. The other two, I don't know yet. So we're going to explore those together and see. So,
okay.
And then, Chris, I believe you also have a recommendation for us at the end of the episode.
I do.
Per
Spoiler,
usual.
It's not going to be League of Their Own.
Not going to be A League of Their Own. No. Okay, good to know. But we will see what your recommendation is at the end of the episode. With that, Chris, let's go ahead and jump into our main featured review. It is the film The Invite.
Hi. Hi, come in.
Nice to see you.
We are so happy you're here.
Are Are we expecting people? Can we put curtains on this window? I don't like how they can see into our apartment. This shirt, well, it's nice. It looks really good on you.
Well, you could tell me that once in a while.
Take them off?
I don't give a if you take your shoes off.
For me, no gluten, no dairy, no meat, no sugar.
There's something I've been wanting to talk to you about.
We also have something we wanted to talk to you about. We feel a very strong connection with you guys.
That is so nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, say thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Very flattering.
Actress Olivia Wilde made her feature directorial debut in 2019 with the hit comedy Booksmart. Her follow-up, 2022's Don't Worry Darling, was not as well received and perceived as some as a sophomore stumble. With Wilde's third feature, The Invite, receiving a Rotten Tomatoes score of 97%, many see it as a comeback. The Invite unfolds in the apartment of married couple Joe, played by Rogen, and Angela, played by Wilde. Their relationship is rocky and not helped by the fact that Angela has unexpectedly invited their upstairs neighbors, Pina, played by Penelope Cruz, and Hawk, played by Ed Norton, over for dinner. Alan, what was your experience with The Invite, and would you suggest others RSVP?
Great and yes. I'm answering your question.
Okay, and we're done.
Clear. No, we're done. No, I was in the bag for The Drama, the film we reviewed earlier in the year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Also starring what was the lead actor's name?
There was Robert Pattinson. Zendaya. Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Right.
Robert Pattinson, Zendaya. Yeah, those two. I was seeing an Ed connection, and I think what it was is Robert Pattinson's character in the franchise he was in that he got kind of known for. What is it? The vampire?
Twilight.
He played an Ed in that, I believe. Right?
Yeah, Edward. Yes.
He was an Edward.
Yes.
In the Twilight series.
Yes, he was.
So then I connected that with Edward Norton as the actor.
Okay.
That's where I was getting the connection. Anyway.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
backing up. The Invite.
Yes.
I really liked The Drama earlier the year, and
Yes.
I see this as a little bit of a spiritual successor to that film because it deals with very similar themes and elements of exploring relationships and how the dynamics of a relationship and the challenges of relationships at different stages, where the drama is like early on having to deal with learning about another person and how to cope with that. This is now that couple has been around and dealt with each other for 20 years, 15 years, 20 years. And now what does it mean? So I really like this film. I literally just saw it like 10 minutes ago.
Sure.
Just finished it 10 minutes ago. I think it is funny. I think it is insightful. I think it is well performed by all four of the people because we really just have the four
Right. It's
leads.
Sure. And for the most part, it is centered in an apartment.
Yeah, for the, almost exclusively.
Right.
It is the Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf for this generation and taking it into some. The movie's pitched a little bit as like being like a surprise, like what's the shock, and I didn't really think that was really that had nothing to do with the film for me. I mean, I kind of felt like I knew where it was going to go. And it did kind of go there. I'm more surprised with where the film circled back by the ending. So I'll just leave it at that.
Sure.
But I really did like this just because I really enjoy seeing four really good, talented performers play off each other in a what I felt like was a very realistic yet also interesting scenario that wasn't all about surprises for me. It was more about just seeing where the journey went, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I'm a fan of The Invite, but I also could see where others may not be. So, Chris, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on The Invite.
I don't know if it's other critical reactions to the film. Like, I mentioned the 97% Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I've read any reviews, but I've just seen general buzz around the film. Seems like it's a critical darling. Audiences, I guess those that have seen it have responded well to it. And I feel like this is yet another film of 2026 that I am in the minority. The box office success obsession that it seems like I am the only person that is not obsessed with Obsession. Not that I think it's a terrible film. I just thought, that's it. Just seemed very slight. Could have been a short. This film, it's not bad. I agree. The acting is good. But to me, it could have been a short. And I think it also is not helped by the fact that you'd mentioned that, some of the marketing is like, twists, unexpected things. And then maybe hyping the funny a little bit more than I would have imagined. Yes, there's some funny things in it, but overall, more of like a situational drama. And if you'd seen the trailer, they kind of tip what it might be, like what might be happening in it. And even if you haven't seen the trailer, in the first minutes when the couple, Joe and Angela, are fighting, they kind of reference the upstairs couple having loud sex. And you're like, okay, so you can just imagine, okay, they invite these people over for dinner. Where might this go? Wonder what the conversation could maybe go to. And so the problem for me is that overall, the film was very, very predictable. Now, the acting was still good. But it just didn't. It wasn't entertaining for the runtime. Whereas if it had been a short, you kind of get in, get out, then it's like, okay, some of the ideas could have been maybe better boiled down for me. I will say Ed Norton's character, towards the last third of the film, does have kind of a little bit of a monologue that was a little surprising for me. I guess his character gets a little more humanized, I'll say. Right. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that was a little, not that it's like surprising, it's a twist, but I think that's where some of the marketing is kind of alluding to that. And I'm like, well, no, it is an interesting beat, but okay. And then you mentioned where it circles back to at the end. I liked that. But I am unsure if it really feels earned or legitimate. Like maybe like a false hope, I kind of think, in a sense. But it was so it was like I maybe it's just the jaded part of me couldn't really buy that after the journey we'd been on. But
okay, and I'm going to refer back to the drama because what's interesting is both films, to me, end on a very, very similar beat. Where with the drama, yes, we've been exploring this relationship and you feel you have every indication that it is doomed, like as the story progresses. Sure. And we get towards the climactic end and it's like, yes, it's bad. But the ending scene is meant to give at least a moment of there's going to be some self-reflection. There's going to be some reckoning with what's happened. And at least there's a potential for good. And that's what I got from The Invite as well. That's the same thing. So I honestly, when this film, you could almost break this film into three parts.
Sure.
Three sections. So it's like you've got your first section, which is learning these characters, the build up to this encounter that's going to be happening between these four individuals over a dinner or, drinks. You've got the middle section. Well, the first section is meant to be more frantic comedy drama where it's like you're realizing that, boy, this couple has some issues and there's some stuff going on. And then they're introducing this other couple that seem like everything's all together or there's like a certain vibe to them that works. You get to this middle section and it does get into a bit of a situational sex comedy, for better or for worse. And I will say, that's probably my least favorite part of the film because I thought like that was more, this is kind of what I was thinking this film was going to be. Right. And I kind of figured this is where it was going to go. But then I realized, but we're not near the end yet. So I'm like, okay. And then once it got to that point, and I think it was with Edward Norton's kind of his monologue, and then there was also a bit of a monologue from Penelope Cruz's Pena as well. Once these two characters, you start to see their side of their relationship and how it broadened the topic and conversation out to what we see with our original couple, Angela and Joe, Seth and Rogen and Olivia Wilde. That whole last third kind of just made the film work for me. I'm like, okay, yeah, you took a situation that could have been, could have just been played for laughs and played like, oh, isn't this an awkward situation? And oh my gosh, how crazy is this? And then it's like, no, let's boil it down to like, these are four people that, so these are four individuals that they're actually feeding off each other and learning and growing. And yes, and there is a closing that, I don't think is meant to say anything definitive, yes or no, but I think it at least shows that something was learned and developed through the course of this night, which I'm always a fan of. I didn't want this film to end on a down note, which it very well could have, and it would have been fine if it did. I mean, it would have worked as a film if it ended. But I like the fact that it did a little of the bookcasing with what we saw at the beginning. Bookends of the whole thing. It worked. It worked for me. So I'm a fan. I enjoyed the time spending with these four. I think Edward Norton, like all four of them are really good. I loved Edward Norton's performance and his character. Just something about it. It seemed so natural, and it seemed like such an interesting character, but yet the whole time you're like, there's gonna be something else about this guy. And I think when we get to the end, we're like, oh yeah, he's got some issues too. It's like, it's okay. It's like, I just love that performance. And I mean, Penelope Cruz also, I thought was really good. I think Olivia Wilde was good. Her performance got for me better late in the film. I'll admit the first half of the film, I thought she was the one out of the four that was just overplaying her performance a bit, over being a little too on paper. I'm supposed to be this kind of a little high-strung individual. I thought it was just overplayed. It didn't fit the style and tone of the other three performers. But by the end of the film, I thought her performance was really solid. So I thought she got better. And then Seth Rogen, I thought was solid all the way too. And he got to have some dramatic beats late in the film too, which I think works. So yeah, I liked it, but I definitely understand any criticism that could be out there of it, because it's a film you got to be in the right vibe, the right feel for. And, Yeah.
Well, you mentioned you were thinking of the drama, which that's an interesting point of comparison. I much prefer that film over this, but I understand the comparison. The film that I was thinking of the entire time I was watching it, film I recommended here on the show, not that it's just like the drama is not a single location, but Splitsville. It's one that I recommended as something for people to check out. And it deals with two couples that kind of clash, let's say. And, it is much more of a comedy than this film, but there's some interesting things about relationships and how couples work with each other and secrets they may or may not have. So I enjoyed that film a lot more. Had I not seen the drama or Splitsville so close to having seen The Invite, I might be more receptive to The Invite. You mentioned, like typical films or many films have kind of like the 3-act structure. First act, I think for me, that's where most of the comedy was, I guess, which I appreciated. But in addition, something that maybe I'm a little numbed out on because I just finished the last season of The Bear. I do like that show. But I think most people would associate The Bear with like arguing and yelling. And, at some point, like you finish an episode of The Bear, you're like, whew, I need to go relax and have a drink because that was just so stressful. And not to the extent of that, but kind of the same thing. I'm like, yeah, there's some funny bits in here, but just seeing people like yell it. So that made the first act funny, but then I was kind of like, okay, I'm done with them like arguing. second act, you mentioned kind of the big, reveal, the big sex thing. And I was like, okay, that kind of played itself. That was too long. But as you said, I think the thing that saves the film for me is some of the dramatic things that happen in that third act. So I'll agree. I think for me, that was definitely the strongest. And I guess it did end up elevating the film better than like the first two parts will do. You've called out, I agree. All the performances were good. But for me, if I had to single out who I thought was an MVP, it would probably be Seth Rogen. And I think a lot of it is some of the, he is very antagonistic, obviously, towards his wife, but then towards this couple, and some of the under his breath, like one-liners and kind of like reaction things that he says to some of the things they said I just found really funny, and I really liked the way. And then I guess rewarding to see somebody who I generally assume is a comedic actor, kind of have a shift where he gets really dramatic towards the end. So,
I mean, like ultimately, what I liked about this film was the dramatic swing it opted for late in the film, and I liked where it went with that. But I will say, there were some absolutely laugh out loud funny moments for me. I found myself really responding to the awkward humor, I think is what it really is. I mean, and a lot of it stemmed from Seth Rogen's performance. You're right. It is Seth Rogen playing Seth Rogen in a way. I mean, what we perceive as him as kind of a standard performance for him, but he does it so well.
He does.
It's great. And then again, I'll say Ed Norton and Penelope Cruz, I think both of them were just really, really great, interesting characters. I enjoyed quite a bit. I will say Olivia Wilde, director on this. This is a screenplay written by Will McCormick and Rashida Jones, which I thought interesting. Rashida Jones, also an actress herself, but has also written and worked on a lot of projects like this before. I think, the writing was sharp. I think, it worked.
And it's based on a previous film.
Yes,
so it's a remake.
So it was a remake of it, but kind of taking it, adapting it into something we could digest here. And I think I think Olivia Wilde had a really good eye for how to frame this film. I felt like I had a really good concept of the space we were involved, because the space itself was incredibly important, became actually a little more important as the film went on. I just felt like it worked really well within the confines of the space we were in. And it just, I think she has a good eye for this stuff. And I think it played really, really well. I do know Don't Worry, Darling was a film that I kind of liked probably a little bit more than most people did. And I will say one thing I do remember about it is it was a really good looking film.
It looked great.
So I think she's really got an eye for how to take these stories and put them on the screen and make them really relatable for people. So I do think she really excelled in that.
From the quick research that I did, and I was just like breezing through stuff when I was kind of coming up with the setup, from what I can tell, she, obviously actress, director, the films that I mentioned, Booksmart, Don't Worry, Darling, and The Invite, they've all been written by other people. So it's like she takes material and then she directs it. So I think, she seems to have a knack of being able to bring different type, because Booksmart, kind of a buddy coming-of-age comedy. This is more of an adult drama with some comedy. Don't Worry, Darling, sci-fi kind of experience there. So, she can direct. She knows what she's doing in the director's chair.
Absolutely. I think she's a very good director. So, for sure. I mean, and also on that same note, there's a lot of shots that have to do, a lot of shots we see through windows, viewing through windows. And actually the windows do kind of have a part in the story over time. So I again, visually, I enjoyed the way it was all framed and portrayed, given the fact that, they're in this, I guess it's an apartment it's considered, or condo type of thing. It's like got multiple rooms, and each room kind of has a little personality to it. And I think it works. It just, in the actual architecture and the layout of the space actually kind of becomes a little important, becomes topic of conversation throughout some of the characters. And it just worked. I think visually and stylistically, I liked it quite a bit. Yeah. And I mean, you give me a film, Chris, where you've got some great performances. People just can kind of have a really great time portraying a certain character. You give me some good tonal shifts throughout the film. You go for the uncomfortable, awkward humor moments that
Sure.
Seth Rogen does very well.
He does.
Yeah, it just worked for me, and I was a sucker for the ending. When the film started, there's an interesting montage and some things
That
going
actually
on.
kind of comes back. Yeah.
It does come back around, but I had forgotten about it by the
Okay.
time we got to the ending. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's nice. So it worked. So no, I really like The Invite.
Okay.
And it may be immediacy bias. I mean, I did honestly
You
just
just
walk out of the theater like 10 minutes before we started
Understood.
recording, seeing this. But, we'll see how it sits with me after another couple days. But I'm kind of anxious to see it again at
Oh,
this
wow.
point, too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really would. Mainly for the performances. I think I just had a lot of fun with them. So, yeah. Okay. You got anything more to share? You good?
No.
You
that's-
tapped out on the
yeah.
invite?
Yeah. I'm going to leave the party early. Let's
All
say
right,
that.
leaving the party early. Yeah. I'll just say, just because, I feel like it's our duty to say this, can be a little bit of an uncomfortable watch with some audiences. It's a
Yeah. Not a family film.
not a family. Well, I mean, maybe a certain kind of family, but
Yeah. Maybe.
it is a very
right.
it's an awkwardly uncomfortable film at many times,
Sure.
and let's just say sex and sexual relations has a big part to do with a lot of the bulk of the film.
Yes.
But if you're okay with that, then I think it's a fun ride, and I think it's a interesting film to watch. So, and Chris is less enthusiastic about it, but
yeah. It's,
at least see some.
I guess it's fun. That's my
Chris
patented.
has been a lot on
I
the
know.
fine level
I
the
know.
last
So
few
not,
weeks
not,
here.
Not great, not terrible. Just
we gotta
kind of
find
the
Chris
middle of the
a-
road.
Like something that's not just fine, because that was kind of my thing.
It
I was
was.
in the
You're
fine
like,
category for
fine.
so long, and now I'm actually kind of finding some films I either really like or really don't like. So, and I'm pretty clear on that. So, yeah. All right, we got to get you out of the fine category. Hopefully, some film soon will do that for us. Maybe it's one of the ones we'll show the trailers for in a minute.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Could be.
So that's The Invite, and that is playing. It's from A24, again, directed by Olivia Wilde. Yeah, I think it's doing pretty good for an A24 small film.
Well,
you
I think
know,
that's
so-
the thing. It seems to be critics are working really hard to get more people to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen just favorable reviews, so I'm in the minority. But I haven't seen anybody say they hated it. So
Right.
that's a good sign.
Okay.
So
Well, good. Well, that is The Invite. And all right, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, like I promised, we have a couple of trailers to show and a recommendation to hear. So stay tuned. You're listening to Foot Candle Films, and we'll be right back in a moment.
Want to discover great podcasts or maybe even start one of your own? Welcome to The Mesh, Western North Carolina's podcast network built for creators and listeners alike. From local sports and business to comedy and culture, The Mesh is home to unique voices and fresh perspectives. Do you have something you want to say? The Mesh can help you bring your podcast to life with the tools, support, and platform you need to be heard. Check us out at themesh.tv, where great podcasts live and new ones are born.
Welcome back to Foot Candle Films here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. We had our review of The Invite in the first half of the show. Now we're moving on to take a look at some films that have not come out yet, but we're going to talk about from our early glimpses we have through the forms of trailers. Chris,
yes,
we spoke maybe a few months ago about how, based on the success of like video game movies and franchise things that were popping up like Minecraft, and then what's another one?
Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers,
which we've had two of the recent.
There's another film I thought that actually did pretty good business that was based on some sort of intellectual property that had something to do with
Video games.
toys, video games, something.
I mean,
Remember
I
correctly?
don't know how well it did box office wise, but the decision to do Mattel's He-Man or whatever that.
Oh, that
that
did
came
not
out.
do very well,
Okay,
unfortunately.
so
Yeah,
but that
was-
was one that was kind of
okay.
like a resurrected property.
Well, I know you and I talked that I think after the success of Barbie a couple years
Sure.
ago, and then some other films, there was like a renewed desire to say, oh, what can we do with some already existing IP, especially in the toy or game type of realm.
Okay.
All right. And I think this film that I'm going to show the trailer for was one that was mentioned as a upcoming film project that was getting signed on.
Okay.
It is inspired by the iconic Mattel toys, Matchbox cars. Okay. Little small cars.
I had some of those
You've
as
had
a kid.
Matchbox cars?
Sure.
Okay. I was not big into them, but I get it.
I mean, I wasn't like a
Right.
collector, but I definitely had some. Yeah.
All right, so Matchbox, we have a movie coming out. Matchbox, the movie. I do not think there's a colon in there. I think it is just Matchbox, the movie.
Okay.
That is how it's listed. And a couple of surprises in this film before we get to the trailer, which I have not watched yet. It is starring John Cena and Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel, as you noted for me earlier when we were setting this up, has not been in a movie in a while. So
It's like her first one in like 9 years.
and
or
I don't
something?
know if she's ever been in what I consider a big budget. Well, no, she has. I think she was in a big budget sci-fi film years ago. Anyway, it's just interesting to see her back in a film. And also the fact that this is being released by Apple TV, which was kind of an interesting fit. It's not the studio I would have expected to be releasing
No.
Matchbox, the movie. So
John Cena seems like he's just kind of like doing whatever and having a lot of fun doing it.
which I'm all for.
Because he did Balls Up with Paul Walter
He
Hauser.
did.
And,
Yes.
Yeah. Or was that not John Cena?
No, that was not John Cena. That was Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, you're right. That's like big
I was
dude.
like,
like,
did I miss
yeah,
John Cena in that
yeah.
movie? No, John Cena was, he's did the
He's
whole
done
Peacemaker,
comedy. Yeah, okay.
Peacemaker,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the whole
okay.
Suicide Squad. The,
Right.
James Gunn. He's in Coyote versus Acme coming out next month.
Right. He's done, hasn't he? No, that's Mark Wahlberg. I was thinking, but that's Mark Wahlberg. I am confusing
Everything's
the
Wahlberg.
two. It is. Because I was thinking, like, didn't he do comedies with, like, somebody's getting divorced? And I was like, nope, that's Mark Wahlberg.
That's a Mark Wahlberg.
Wow. Okay.
gig,
So,
yeah.
But John Cena also kind of man of the moment in a lot of things.
No,
So-
he's in a lot of stuff. I know there's some other things I'm not remembering, but no, I like John Cena. I think
Okay,
he's
now
really
let me see if I
fun.
can get this crossover correctly,
Yeah.
which don't know if I can because I don't know that you've seen that many of these movies.
Yeah.
He is, because this is where my kind of prediction is going to go for what we're about to watch in the trailer.
Yeah.
Has he ever been in a Fast and Furious movie? I know The Rock
That's a
has
really good
I know The
question.
Rock has been,
Right. I know The Rock has been.
and I'm not so
I feel like John Cena has.
I feel like he has been too, but I can't swear by it. But my prediction for this is that that's what Matchbox is going to kind of be, is a more family friendly car movie. Like Fast
Okay.
and the Furious is a bunch of like
Yeah.
racing around. I think Matchbox is somehow going to be kind of like a speed racer type thing. Probably more comedic, maybe with John Cena in there, maybe. But that's kind of what I'm imagining. Plus, it comes from like a kid's toy, unlike
Yeah.
Fast and Furious. So that's what I'm imagining, is that maybe that's going to be the play. So I don't know.
Could be.
We'll see.
Well, I'm as curious as you are now to also find out how close you are to predicting what this is going to be. Again, have not seen this trailer. I'm still kind of surprised, A, that the film exists, and B,
Sure.
that it's going to be a Apple TV production, which again is still very surprising to me. We'll talk about John Cena's filmography
Okay.
here in just a minute, because I do have it pulled up and I'll be able to
Okay,
share
excellent.
with you a little bit more information on that. But let's go ahead and get to the trailer. This is the film Matchbox, the movie.
Sean Walker. It's been a long time since we played Matchbox cars together.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, Sean. What the hell have you been up to?
It's a bit of a longer story.
You look big.
Yeah. To rekindling old friendships.
Cheers. So where's home?
You know, I don't stay in one place for long.
International Playboy. I feel you.
Oh, you're in those shots.
Everybody listen. We're all gonna wake up someplace different.
What? Is everybody okay?
Are we on a plane?
Where's the nuclear warhead, Walker?
Or start tossing your friends out.
What?
Let's go! So wait, Sean's a spy?
Well, let's jump to conclusions, okay?
Okay, so that was the trailer for Matchbox, the movie.
Yeah, I laugh because, yes, in some ways I can say more comedic Fast and Furious movie. I am really shocked that they make as many references to the actual Matchbox cars as they do. And maybe, so I would change my marketing, or if I was giving the pitch, imagine what the Barbie movie did for Barbie. Okay, now take that and mash it up with the Fast and Furious movie, but make it funny. Okay, and that's what, because Fast and Furious, yeah, they have a little bit of comedy, but it's more action. That's what you're going to get with this movie. It is either going to be a very odd combination that somehow magically works, or it's going to be a mess. So I don't know. Which it's going to be.
I watched this and I'm just like, I feel like this was a movie that was already written, already kind of being planned, and they're like,
let's smash Matchbox
how do we
cars.
smash a property like Matchbox into this? Oh, cool. We'll call ourselves the Matchbox Gang.
Right.
And yeah, occasionally we'll cut away to shots of little kids playing with Matchbox just to resemble. But it's like, after that, it's like, I don't understand. Yeah, it's just, we're just wanting to build a franchise of action movies that happen to involve cars and vehicles. And I mean, I saw just as many other things going on
Sure.
that I did car chases and all. So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look, hey, if I hear good things about it as it's coming out, that it's a fun ride, like I'm all for good spectacle, fun movies. If it's a fun action movie and the action sequences work and the humor is well done, yeah, great, bring it on. I can have fun with that. But
Sure.
I'm not seeing anything yet. So
Yeah. We were curious how they were going to make a Matchbox movie because it doesn't seem like little toy cars could possibly translate. But okay, they did it. But did it kind of smash together a script that was already existing with an IP? Maybe. So we'll see.
So while Mr. Cena is in the intellectual property world right now with both Matchbox the movie and a month or two earlier will be Coyote versus Acme.
Yes.
Kind of playing with the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes characters there. He is also in development for a Duke Nukem movie, which is based also on a video game.
Yeah. Okay.
Duke Nukem, which, look, casting wise, yep, I get it. That sounds about right.
Right.
Works. But anyway, that's the 3 upcoming projects he's got listed.
Okay.
Now, some of the things you maybe were confused about with him.
Not Balls Up.
He was not in Balls Up.
Not Stepdad, which I think is the other one that I was confusing with.
That's right. Heads of State was a comedy he did recently, like in the last year. Never saw it.
Didn't see it either. But
It also starred Idris Elba.
Okay.
So that was his partnership there on that film. He was also other comedies he was in. Hold on. There was a movie called Jackpot.
Okay. Heard of that. Didn't see it, but heard of it. Yeah.
That had Awkwafina
Yes.
in that. Let's see. Boy, Ricky Stenicki.
Okay.
We've talked about on this show before. He was in Argyle.
Argyle.
Not as a lead in that.
Right.
I think he just has a smaller part there.
Sure.
Freelance was another one that never heard of. Yeah, so he's kind of, He's kind of,
He's kind of jumping. I mean, like, the
Vacation Friends.
which I think they made a sequel to.
They did. Vacation Friends 2.
Okay, haven't seen either one. So it's like, yeah, it's the...
He hasn't really hit with a
No.
comedy.
Right.
Now, I do not see him on a Fast and Furious movie,
Okay.
but I've also only gone back to 2022 because he's been in a lot of
He's
stuff.
been in a lot of movies.
Most of them are WWE related
Well, that
movies and
sure.
shows that he's
That would make sense.
listed as an actor. Why would he be listed as an actor? Because I thought those were real.
Right.
Anyway, okay, sorry. Oh, nope. He was in F9,
Okay.
the Fast Saga.
Okay.
And then going backwards from there, hold on. I bet you he's in some other Fast and Furious movies because they tend to stick around the
Yes.
people that they bring into those movies.
They do.
And I'm looking and I'm scrolling. Daddy's Home 2, he was in that, by the way.
Daddy's home, not a stepdad. Okay.
Yeah. Boy, it's a lot of WrestleMania.
Sure.
Oh, Sisters. I do remember he was in the movie Sisters, the Amy Poehler,
Tina Fey?
Tina Fey.
Okay.
He was kind of the guy that they kind of wanted to, like somebody from their hometown that they remember. He was even in Trainwreck early on. But you know what? I think,
Trainwreck. That's the first one that I think I remember that he was.
but I think F9, so he was in a Fast and the Furious movie, but I think
Okay.
that's the only one.
Okay.
According to IMDb.
Oh.
Oh, he was in Bumblebee also.
Okay. Bumblebee. So yeah. But this one, he's the lead
Wow.
man.
We're
and
spending way
obviously
too much
the big
time on
focus. Yeah, Matchbox, but that's okay.
Yeah. F9, the Fast Saga, a 2 hour and 23-minute movie I never saw.
I did.
That was the
unfortunately.
9th one. I take it from F9 being the title. F9 : the Fast Saga.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't not remember that one. I don't remember any of them. I think I saw the first one. That was it.
Okay.
Okay. Enough with that. John Cena, he's a busy guy.
He is.
But don't know if anything's really hit that he's been in. I think, honestly, the Peacemaker TV show is probably the biggest hit and biggest thing for him that's kind of resonated with audiences so far. So
Right.
we'll see.
I would agree.
Will Matchbox be his new franchise that he can kind of take off from there?
Maybe.
Get
We'll
the
see.
green light on.
There you go.
And, there you
There's
go.
a racing time.
Okay, let's do another trailer.
Okay.
This one's going to be a little more straightforward. Recently, they had the San Diego Comic-Con that wrapped up this past weekend. I did watch some of the news and announcements from it. I don't really feel like talking about any of them because I don't know. I'm trying to temper all expectations
fair enough.
for things.
Fair enough.
But one film that has been out on a trailer for the last couple months, but they're talked about a little bit at the Comic-Con, at least from the DC Universe panel, is a movie called Clayface. And Clayface, Chris, I know you are a Batman fan, as am I. We know some of the background characters. There is a villain called Clayface, and as it turns out, that is what this movie is about. This movie is a DC Comics universe film. It's by director James Watkins. Not familiar with him as a director.
I am not either.
And the lead actor, I'm also not familiar with, Tom Rhys-Harries, is going to be the title role of the cult favorite villain from Gotham's Rogues Gallery.
Okay.
He plays Matt Hagen, who is going to be rises from a Gotham street kid to a Hollywood leading man whose career is tragically cut short when a local crime boss's actions leave him horribly disfigured. So that's going to be the case. The film also stars Naomi Ackie, Max Minghella. I like the fact that it's not a big star, like not packed with a lot of big star names. So it's kind of giving opportunities for maybe launching a few new names. Mm-hmm. The film is directed by James Watkins, I mentioned, but it's based on a screenplay by Mike Flanagan, who Mike Flanagan does a lot in the horror space.
Yes.
Some of the stuff I've seen of his I really like, so I think he's really good in that world. So that gives me a little hope, it being a screenplay based from him. And even though I'm not familiar with anybody else involved, the film's also produced by Matt Reeves, who was the director of the latest Batman movie, the one with Robert Pattinson.
Right.
Matt Reeves has also done several other films.
And he's doing a sequel. Right?
Eventually. Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
gosh, that movie's taken forever to get around.
Sure.
So anyway, it's got some good pedigree behind it, but I like the fact that it's not there's not a known actor or big known quantity of actors in this film. So that's kind of exciting for me to see. So with that, let's take a look at the trailer for Clayface. Again, the kind of, I guess, a origin movie for a future Batman villain. Anyway, we'll see.
Possibly.
Here we go. This is the trailer for Clayface.
Show me. Show me. What do you want, Miss Hagen?
I want my life back.
I know you. You're famous.
It's a tragedy what they did to him. Boo. I'd like to volunteer for human trials.
This isn't cosmetic surgery.
Even if it kills me, I'll be better off than I am now.
Okay, so that was the trailer for Clayface coming out in October. Chris, any immediate thoughts there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
it's kind of where I am with it.
Putting it out just first time, like, a lot of times I'm like, why didn't they put this out near Halloween? This one, they are.
Yeah,
October 23rd, so
Halloween.
That seems to be a good thing.
Yep.
I hope that it has a little bit more going for it other than just us seeing his face in various disfigured positions, because kind of revealing as much as they do in that trailer, it's like, okay, but if all it's going to be is just CGI distortions and stuff, then
I feel like I know the movie, or the whole movie already.
Yeah.
And I hope, I agree with you. I hope there's something more to it because, again, I feel like I know exactly what the beats are going to be. It's I feel like the trailer kind of telegraphed everything, even like what it was going to build to at the end. It's like, yeah, okay. It just needs to be a little bit more than just, the guy's got a goopy face and, then all of a sudden he becomes a giant monster looking thing.
Right.
Kind of the substance kind of is the best I can kind of relate to, is trying to be a little more of a commercial friendly superhero world version of the substance kind of that we saw with Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley.
That is the vibe that the trailer's giving off. I will say, like you mentioned, I was not aware prior to you mentioning it, that Mike Flanagan was the screenwriter for it.
There again, that
gives me
a little hope, because again, he's written and directed some really good stuff.
Agreed.
So, and he knows the horror world. So I hope this leans into the horror even more so than just the little glimpses we saw in the trailer. I hope there's a lot kind of frightening going on in this. That's the way you make this work.
Right.
I think a little better and have something else to it. So
sure.
All right. Well, we'll see. That's coming out October 23rd, I believe was the date. So that is Clayface. Interesting selection. DC Universe is under now James Gunn. He's the leading guy. He and Safran, another guy, kind of are directing the DC movie world. Mm-hmm. And, they had Superman, which was kind of their big first feature film that under their banner, I believe. And now this is coming out.
And they had Supergirl,
Supergirl. So Superman, then Supergirl. And now you got this. It's like, it's an interesting choice to kind of weave into another film. So,
well, it's kind of a return, which was before James Gunn's tenure with DC when they did Joker.
Right.
Which was kind of a standalone, okay, we're going to
capture a little bit.
We're just going to make a movie about a villain, and they did. So, yeah.
All right, we will see. That is Clayface. Consider us curious.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah. Now, one that I wish I could say I was curious about. Well, I am curious. I am curious about this film. Okay. Just became aware of it over the weekend. Again, thanks to the San Diego Comic-Con, because the lead actor in this film made an appearance at the Comic-Con in character based on this movie. And that was kind of the first, I think a lot of us knew that this thing was even happening. Okay. I am talking about the film Ebenezer. And yes, it is Ebenezer Scrooge. as we all know from the classic tale, the Dickens tale, the Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the word Ebenezer, which that is Hollywood speak for we're going to go deep into this character or give you an origin story or go prequel or something.
Which, if you are at all familiar with A Christmas Carol, you're like, wait, we've seen
we know all
origin
this. This
story.
is what the ghost told us all about.
Right.
Like they told you all this. Okay.
Right.
So, yeah. So the film is called Ebenezer, as you can imagine, about Ebenezer Scrooge. Is coming out this year, probably Christmas time. I would assume.
Yes.
would
Or would
assume.
it be Halloween?
I don't know, but well, yeah, depending on with the lead actor, maybe.
Right.
The interesting thing about this film, other than the fact that it's actually a film that's been made, is the lead actor. It is a Mr. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. Not to go too deep on this.
Deep on Depp
did have a pretty vigorous career for probably good 2 decades, I'd say, of knocking out some big films, mostly in the Pirates of the Caribbean realm, but also got involved with some other things as well. That all tapered off. He had some public legal issues and some contentious things going on in his life. So he kind of fell off. I mean, I think he was still doing some smaller little projects here and there for some smaller studios, but nothing big. This is now a Paramount film, though, that actually has him starring as Ebenezer Scrooge in full makeup. So we're getting Johnny Depp in character mode.
Gotcha.
Could be hit or miss, you know. But also in this film, we have Ian McKellen, Rupert Grint, and Sam Claflin. Not familiar with him, but I know Rupert Grint. He's of the Harry Potter fame.
Sure.
And yeah.
Ian McKellen, heard of him.
Yep. So let's take a look at the trailer or teaser trailer, maybe. No, this is official trailer for Ebenezer.
Okay.
And again, this film is coming out November 13th. So they're getting a little early jump on the Christmas holiday.
Sure.
Trying to make sure this runs all through the holidays.
Probably.
For us.
Yeah.
Yes, this November, Johnny Depp is Ebenezer Scrooge, the name you know, the story you don't. But we do.
Do we?
We kind of do.
No, they're going to make it out to, they're going to do like a Maleficent overhaul where it's actually like, he's this really nice dude.
Like, you totally know that's what they're going to do. I mean, right.
I mean, because that's otherwise, yeah.
Ty West is the director?
Wait.
Oh, hold on. It just says here, it says it's from Ty West. Ebenezer also stars and mentions the other. Oh, Daisy Ridley's in this too.
Okay.
But is Ty West directing this? Okay. All right. I'm going to have to look that up again while we're watching as well.
Watch the trailer.
All right. So here we go. Let's watch the trailer for Ebenezer and see what this deal's all about.
It's good to be back.
To Uncle Scrooge.
To Uncle Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge.
I say to you, sir, Merry Humbug! Merry Christmas! Humbug! And a Happy New Year! Humbug!
The holidays begin with a humbug. That was the tagline at the end of that trailer, which I thought was clever. Yeah, Ty West is directing this film, Chris.
Okay.
Ty West, for those not maybe familiar, probably best known in our circles anyway, as with the X trilogy. He did X, he did Pearl, and he did Maxine.
Okay.
So he did all three of those. He did a film called The Innkeepers, a horror film back in 2011, The House of the Devil back in 2009. He did some episodes of Widow's Bay, a TV show on Apple TV.
I've heard good things.
I know,
Haven't
Chris,
seen it yet.
you need
Okay.
to see Widow's Bay.
Okay.
That is a show for you.
All right.
I know this is not a TV podcast, but
Sure.
no, you need to see
I mean, I already mentioned the Bears. So,
Widows Bay is right up your alley. You will love it. Okay. So yeah, interesting that Ty West, who, I think the X trilogy were good. I liked Pearl probably the best of the three.
And I liked X the best of the three.
I mean, that was close for me.
Sure.
Maxine was a bit of a letdown, but overall still, it's a good director making good horror movies. So this is kind of interesting choice. Chris, we saw the trailer. What's your immediate take? I know what your immediate takeaways are, but tell us for the audience.
Confused because hearing the taglines and everything before watching the trailer, you're like, oh, okay, so it's going to be a prequel to A Christmas Carol.
You would imagine we're going to see a young Ebenezer.
Correct.
Like maybe back in his formative years before he became the Scrooge that we knew.
Right. Or just something like we're going to see no content of The Christmas Carol. That's what I was assuming. But you know what happens when you assume?
Well,
and from the trailer, there's just so much that is clearly A Christmas Carol. Him sitting in bed, flailing at the air, which granted, maybe that's the end of the movie and like you laugh because you know what's coming on. But just so much that just.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I think we're being misled by the marketing campaign.
Okay.
I think this is going to be just A Christmas Carol. Okay. Because the expanded title of the film is Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol. The IMDb description is a thrilling ghost story set in Dickens' London following one man's supernatural journey to face his past, present, and future as he fights for a second chance at redemption. So here's what I think they're trying to do.
Ebenezer Scrooge's joke on us that he is marketing this, and it's like, no, this is a story you already know.
It's just A Christmas Carol. I think that's what it's going to be, but instead of them saying it's A Christmas Carol, because there's been like 12 versions of that done.
Yes.
Like, oh no, let's make this a little edgier. We're going to make it Ebenezer. That's going to be the thing. And I think they're trying to pitch it as the story you don't know. Well, it is the story we do know, or the person we know. I think they're trying to say that this is going to go a little more in depth into who Ebenezer Scrooge is and all that beyond just the story. But again, I feel like A Christmas Carol does that pretty good.
Now, a surprise could be, which I don't think this is the case, I didn't catch the rating, but Ty West, does he make it scarier? Maybe it's still PG-13, but does he make it scarier with like ghosts and stuff, which they do show in the trailer?
It's at least got to be a PG-13.
I would think so.
They're not going to make this a rated R. I don't see a rating yet for it. Yeah. No, it won't be a rated R. I'd like to think, maybe they can go a little edgier, go a little scarier with it. But yeah, I guarantee you this is going to be just a Christmas Carol story. Just letting Johnny Depp do his deppiness.
And they throw out, Pirates of the Caribbean. They throw out the Mad Hatter. They throw out Edward Scissorhands. So it's like, remember this guy.
Remember when we put makeup on this guy, how much you love him? So yeah, that's
right. You're going to love him again.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. I'm assuming I don't think I saw Ian McKellen in there, but I'm assuming he's probably Marley.
I would assume so.
Okay.
Look, I will say this. I love A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Like I love the story. Okay.
Gotcha.
I generally speaking, if I know that there is another visual depiction of that story I can watch, I will try to watch it. Although I did not see was it Robert Zemeckis with Jim Carrey? Was it not like a CGI mocap version?
I believe so.
I did not see that.
I don't think I did.
Yeah. But generally speaking, I love the story. So color me curious. Like if they can do something with this, that will be interesting. And if we can be okay with Johnny Depp for an hour and a half or more doing a makeup deal again. So,
and I think, families want to go see movies. People are in town. So yeah, it's like, okay, around Thanksgiving, around Christmas, Unless the thing's completely horrible, it won't be in theaters come Christmas time. But who knows? But then it'll be on streaming, and people can just watch it at home.
Hey, look, if this becomes the ultimate depiction of the Christmas Carol story, and Johnny Depp has a renaissance from this as being like, oh wow, yeah, we actually really do like Johnny Depp, and he's great, and we want to see him in more movies. Who knows? This could be the hit of the holiday season. But
could be.
I think it was more of a surprise for everybody when this was kind of dropped on our laps last week. That people are like, really? We're doing this? Okay. All right. Well, let's see how it goes.
Sure.
All right. Well, that's the 3 trailers I had to share with us, Chris. I did do all 3, right?
Yes.
I did. Yeah. Ebenezer, Clayface, and Matchbox.
That's it.
All right. All 3 based on previous known properties, which is always unfortunate, but that's where our trailers fell today. All right, Chris. Well, I think we need to be getting ready to wrap this up. The last thing we got to do before we do is turn it over to you to give us a recommendation of the episode. Chris,
Yes.
Chris watches movies?
I do.
Look, I will tell you this, though. I've seen 3 movies in the last 48 hours.
That's an impressive feat.
That is really good for me. I mean,
Sure.
honestly, I feel like I should be doing this normally. Kind of the roles I am in and what I do day to day. I should be watching more movies, but unfortunately I don't. But I did see between A League of Their Own, Nirvana, the band, the series, the movie, or band, the show, the movie, which I watched last night and really loved, and now seeing The Invite. That's piling on pretty good for me.
Yeah.
But even despite that, Chris sees more movies in general
see a
than I
lot,
do.
yeah.
So I'm going to turn it over to you, Chris. Tell us what you would like to recommend for us this week.
I am going to recommend a film from 2025. It's just now hit streaming, Mile End Kicks by director Chandler Levac, who I believe also wrote it, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check that right quick. Yes, she did. Okay. Thought so. It tells the story of Grace Pine, a 23-year-old music critic, moves to Montreal to write a book on Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, but her plans are complicated when she becomes romantically involved with 2 members of an indie band she is covering and decides to become their publicist. I liked another movie of hers that she did, and I've recommended on the show, called I Like Movies. Mm-hmm. This is a newer feature by her. She also did a movie that went straight to Netflix, which is where this film is right now. You can see it streaming on Netflix for free if you have an account. She made Roommates that has one of Adam Sandler's daughters in it. She did that. I haven't seen that, but that, from what I gather, is not well reviewed. But Mile End Kicks, I like a good bit. It kind of has an update feeling of Almost Famous in a way, but brought into 2011 instead of back in the 70s. Has a lot of indie music in it. I really like it. It's kind of like Almost Famous from a feminine perspective. But if you just dismiss the film as just that, I think you're kind of giving it short shrift. But I really enjoyed it. If you like indie music from that time period, then I think you'll enjoy the film. And something else I'll say, the lead who plays Grace Pine in the film, Barbie Fiera, we also saw her in
Bob Trevino Likes It.
Yes. And I really liked her in that. And I was like, man, she's really good.
She's good.
And she's equally as good in this. So,
well, I'm really curious. I love the setup.
Sure.
Yes, a music critic getting involved with members of an indie band. She decides to publicize. Yeah, definitely have the Almost Famous vibe to it. But
Sure.
I like it being in a different setting, different style music, different style film. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah. So Mile End Kicks streaming.
End Kicks.
Yeah,
3
which
words.
gets its name from a shoe store in the film. But so it's streaming on Netflix.
The indie band she's publicizing is a Alanis Morissette cover band?
No. It's just I can't remember. Bone Patrol. That's the
name of the band.
Yes, completely.
But what was the
fictitious.
Alanis Morissette connection you said at the beginning?
So, she is a music writer, a music journalist, and she decides she wants to, this is an actual real series of books that they put out called 33 and a Third, where they get a music critic and they put out a little book that completely talks about the process of one album, like that dude Nirvana, Nevermind, and they do all that. So her pitch is that to this company is that she wants to do on Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what gets her, on this one part. But she gets sidetracked, and I see. It's good.
Okay.
I highly recommend it.
All right, great. All right, well, I definitely am very curious on that one. So Mile End Kicks, you said is on Netflix.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Chris is recommending you check that out.
Yes.
And with that, I think we are going to wrap this up. We had our review of The Invite, which I was very positive on. Chris was lukewarm.
Yeah.
I think is probably a good way to say it. I didn't want to use the F word, the fine word. Right. So I'm just saying lukewarm is how Chris was on that.
So my tagline will be lukewarm and Alan's will be fine.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Fine is my F word I use. Right. You have lukewarm as your word to use for a film that just didn't do a lot for you, but
there you go.
Get it. And then we had trailers for Matchbox, Ebenezer, and Clayface. We talked about all three of those. And then Chris's recommendation of Mile End Kicks. So, Chris, anybody who wants to talk with us about anything we've discussed on this episode or anything in general, we'll talk about whatever. Sure. How do they reach out to us? How do they dialogue with us?
You can contact us by sending an email to info@footcandle.org or leave us a voicemail at themesh.tv website. We can also check out past Foot Candle Film episodes as well as other podcasts on various subjects from barbecue to comedy to mental health. We're also on Facebook at Foot Candle Film Society and other social platforms as Foot Candle Film. Do us a favor, if you like the show, consider leaving us a review on whatever platform you receive your favorite podcast on, because it'll help reach new listeners, and we'd appreciate that. The 2026 Foot Candle Film Festival is coming September 18th through the 27th. The lineup has been announced and will be shortly available on our website, which is footcandlefilmfestival.com. So you can check it out there. We'd love to have you come join us for the festival. It'll be a good one.
Yeah, I think probably by the time you hear this, yes, the festival lineup should be on the website and available for tickets for sale. So that just gives me the added pressure I need to do to get them online today.
Gotcha.
Because now this will be replaced. This will be published like in another day.
Yes.
Yeah, typically speaking.
Sure.
So I have about 24 hours now to finish putting them up online.
Pressure's on.
Okay, can do. We're on it. It'll happen. And that'll wrap us up for today. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Foot Candle Films. We'll look forward to talking to you next time. Take care.
See you in the ticket line.
Watch films in the company of like-minded people in the dark. Watch films in the underground. We won't let anyone know where you are. The films that don't make it to Carmike at the mall, or ones that were famous when Grandpa would watch films out of the reverence of the heritage of an art. Watch films through the courtesy of Foot Candle Film Society.
Special thanks to Carpal Tuller for the show theme music. For more about Carpal Tuller, visit www.carpaltuller.com. You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.